Hi everyone, this is Annindita Palaus, and thank you so much for joining me today on my live Facebook. And as you already might be aware that today's video is about my secret protection spell. And the reason I'm doing this video is because I feel like with the coronavirus and the pandemic, there is just so much fear and so much worry and so much anxiety, hopelessness and helplessness, and just so much disempowerment right now that I really wanted to provide something that would be extremely powerful in helping people to change those unresourceful states of behavior into more resourceful ones. And so I decided to teach this protection spell, which kind of works like Harry Potter's invisibility cloak. I'm a Harry Potter fan, I guess you can tell. So are you ready for the steps? So the three key ingredients for this protection spell to work are gratitude, unconditional love, and the third is hopelessness. Now, if hopelessness is something that you don't completely resonate with, you can always switch it for your favorite ingredient. Maybe it is powerful, a feeling of power. Maybe it is a feeling of feeling empowered or having absolute faith or complete surrender. So you are free to choose the third ingredient, whatever you want. And you might be wondering why these three ingredients? Well, it is because these emotions create a very high vibrational energy field around you. And when activated, it literally acts like a protective shield or an armor, making you invisible to everything low vibrational. If you understand the law of attraction, then you might also understand how like vibration attracts like vibration. But when you are covered or when you are shielded with this high vibrational energy field, then you literally become invisible to anything that is low vibrational. And that is how it works. Isn't that exciting? And I bet you are wondering now, that, okay, fine, now we have the three ingredients. So what next? What do I do with these three ingredients? Well, your wait is over. I'm going to be giving you the exact steps now. So I like to call this the circle of protection or the ring of protection. If you are sitting or laying right now, then I would like you to stand up and get ready for the exercise. If you're busy, maybe you are driving or doing something else, I will be posting the video as a replay later on, so you can listen to it over and over and you can practice it later on as well. So the first step is just stand up, just relax, close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and make sure that there's a little bit space around you. You don't need a whole lot of space, just a little bit space so you can move around. And whenever you're ready, now I would like you to go back into your memory and relive a past experience when you felt absolutely abundantly grateful. If there are multiple such memories, I want you to pick the one that is the most intense, that is the most powerful for you. Once you have that memory, go right back into that memory and see what you saw, hear what you heard, feel what you felt. Go right back into that memory. And once you feel that feeling, not fear, once you feel that feeling of gratitude building up, imagine a ring or a circle around your feet. What color is this ring? Does this ring have a sound? Just notice. And now I want you to imagine a knob or a dialer, sort of like the dialer that you sometimes have on the radio stations where you can increase or decrease the volume. Imagine there's a volume button right in front of you. And reach out your hands, hold that volume button, and start turning up the feeling. Start increasing the intensity of gratitude in your body. And notice what happens to the color of the ring around you. And also notice what happens to the sound. Does it change? Does the color change? And keep on increasing till it is at its peak, till the feelings of gratitude is at its peak. Once it is at its peak, I want you to leave those feelings inside the circle and step out. Take a step out. You can step sideways or front and back, doesn't matter. Just step out, leaving all those feelings inside the circle. Done? All right. Next step, I want you to go back into your memory and relive a moment from your past when you felt abundantly love, when you felt abundant love, unconditional love. I'm not talking about human love here. That is all about possession and control. It's all based on give and take. I'm talking about unconditional love or divine love, where you felt unconditional love for something or towards something or for anybody. It could be for yourself as well. Doesn't matter. Go back right into that memory. See what you saw, hear what you heard, feel what you felt. And as you feel those emotions building up, step right back into the circle. And again, reach out, turn the dialer up, turn the intensity up. And notice what happens to the color of the circle. Does the color change? Does the sound change? Maybe for some people it might change, maybe for some it might not. Just notice what happens to it. And once the feelings are at its peak, I want you to leave the feelings inside the circle and take a step out, leaving all the feelings inside the circle. Next, I want you to relive a memory from your past when you felt absolutely hopeless, or whatever the third ingredient you picked. Maybe it was a feeling of invincibility, if that's what you picked, powerfulness, if that's what you picked, or absolute unconditional faith, unwavering faith, whatever it is that you picked, your choice of ingredient. And once you have that memory, go right back to that memory, see what you saw, hear what you heard, feel what you felt. And as you feel those emotions building up, step right back into the circle. And notice again, what happens to the color of the circle? What happens to the sound? Is it still the same? Is it different? Is the sound the same? Or is it different? Just notice. And again, reach out and turn the volume on of all the three feelings together. And once they are at its peak, again, leave all the feelings inside the circle and step outside the circle, leaving all the feelings in. So now, I want you to think about a time in the future when you would want to use this ring of protection. Your ring of protection has now been programmed. It is now ready for you to use. So I want you to think about a time in the future when you might want to use it. For instance, maybe you are going for an important job interview, or maybe you want to talk to your boss about a raise or a promotion. Maybe you are going for an important meeting with a client. Could be anything. Whatever the situation is for you, pick up a few different situations. And first of all, just pick one situation. We will be working with a number of them. So if you have a few of them in mind, take just one of them and play that situation in your mind and look for the cue or the trigger when your emotions of maybe self-doubt or worry or anxiety or helplessness, hopelessness, fear, any of those negative emotions get triggered. Let's say you go for an interview, and the minute you step into the interview room and you watch the face of the interviewers, you just become very anxious, you just become very nervous, you have self-doubt, you have fear, and you all of a sudden start feeling hopeless about the whole situation, that I'm not going to get it, there are so many better candidates, this and that. So think of such situations and think about the trigger that causes you to panic and get into those unresourceful states. And once you have the trigger, just rewind it a little bit and go to the moment that is right before the trigger, right before you want to use your circle of protection, right before you want that circle of protection to be activated. Go to the moment and see what you see, hear what you heard, and step back into the circle. And as you step back into the circle, feel all those feelings of love, gratitude, powerfulness, whatever it is that you picked, build up. Great. Now step out of the circle, leaving all the feelings inside the circle. And now I want you to pick the second event. And again, look for the cue. The cue is actually the time when you would want these resourceful states to be activated automatically. So right before you start feeling anxious, that is the cue. Right before you start feeling fearful, that is the cue. So pick another event and find the trigger, find the cue. And once you have that, see what you saw, hear what you heard. And once you are actually in that picture, step into the circle. And as you step into the circle, feel all the feelings of love, gratitude, power, absolute faith, hopelessness, invincibility build up. And then step out of the circle, leaving all the feelings inside the circle. All right, so let's give it a try for the third time. Take another event. It could be the same event, it could be a different event, up to you. And again, pick the cue, pick the trigger in that event. The cue or the trigger is actually the time when you would want those emotions to be available. So if you're about to give a presentation, you would want these resourceful emotions to be available to you right before they announce your name, right before you go to the stage, or right before you walk into your boss's room, or right before you pick up that call for your client. And once you have that cue, see what you saw, hear what you heard, feel what you felt, and step right back into the circle, into your circle of protection. And feel the feelings build up. Feel the feelings of love, gratitude, invincibility, power build up. Great. Now again, leave all those feelings inside the circle and step out of the circle. So what we just did is we programmed your unconscious mind to automatically trigger these resourceful situations, these resourceful feelings every time you face a situation where you tend to get fearful or worried or anxious or just feel helpless or desperate or disempowered. So use this so this is what I like to call the circle of protection or the ring of protection. And now that your unconscious mind is already programmed, it will know when to trigger it automatically. And you can also start using it in any other situation, even outside of the situations that you just worked on right now. It is not only used for changing your unresourceful states of mind into resourceful ones, you can also use it to change. Let's say you are already feeling pretty empowered. Let's say you are already a very positive person and you are not feeling hopeless or helpless, but you want to feel even more empowered. You can use this ring of protection for increasing the level of empowerment that you feel. And this technique that I just taught you, this is actually an NLP resource anchor technique. It is known as a resource anchor. And NLP stands for Neuro-Linguistic Programming. And I have used this resource anchor with a lot of my clients with amazing results. So I would highly suggest that you start using this resource anchor that we just created together. And the more you use it, the more powerful it becomes. And the more automatically it starts getting activated. And it literally acts like an invisibility cloak, because these high vibrational emotions of gratitude, unconditional love, hopelessness, invincibility, and power, it creates this energetic force field around you that literally makes you invisible to anything that is a low vibrational nature. So use it, have fun with it, and the more you use it, the more energized or more activated the resource anchor becomes, and the more powerful it becomes for you. And now you can just imagine this ring, your ring of protection that you just created. Just imagine it shrinking and shrinking and shrinking, becoming really small like a ring, and just pick it up from the ground and put it on one of your fingers, any finger, doesn't matter. And whenever you need it, your ring of protection will be there to shield you. And you can always visualize just removing that ring from your finger, expanding it and stepping right into it if you need to. but in most of the cases, it will be triggered by itself. So I hope you enjoyed this video and this exercise. And I'm really curious. I want to know how it worked for you. So let me know in the comments below. And till next time, bye for now.